Mary went, but go ahead and find a comfortable seat, whatever that means to you. You can sit up on a block, you can sit with your legs crossed, you can lay back down on the ground, whatever you'd like. We're gonna do a little bit slower pace today, just because it's starting to be fall and slowing down. So you can lower your gaze or close your eyes. Just start to pay attention to your breath. You don't need to change it. Just pay attention to what it's doing. If you'd like, you could place a hand on your chest, one on your diaphragm, and just feel the movement of your chest. And while you're sitting here breathing, I just want to say a few notes about today being the equinox and being Mabon. And I have this great little calendar that reminds me of all of the kind of ancient holidays that we can kind of go through. So Mabon is what we're going through now. It's the day of the harvest. If you're into Greek mythology, this is when Persephone goes to the underworld around this time, and there's a big festive week-long celebration and just gathering up the harvest and preparing for winter and seeing if you have enough. Since we have food preparation techniques, we don't necessarily need to gather enough for the winter, but the metaphor still stands. And one of the great things that this is talking about that really jumped out to me is it's Mabon and justice. And justice is something you've been hearing a lot lately because obviously of Ruth Bader Ginsburg passing. And just what I really liked about this, when I thought about this, was it said, accept justice's invitation to consider the long-term effects of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. So it's not just about what we do, but the impact of everything we do. So the equinox is a time for balance. So we'll be doing a lot of balance work today. And we're gonna start by seeing if you can let go of something that's no longer serving you. It can be an intrusive thought. It can be ill will towards another person. It can be an embarrassing moment that just keeps nagging at you. But today we're gonna just let that thing go. You put it in a bubble, let it blow away. You can face it head on, turn it into something ridiculous. Or you can just make peace with it and let it move on. And if you're ready to slow down your breathing, go ahead and start with a big inhale through your nose and a big exhale out through your mouth. One more like that. Big inhale through your nose. Large exhale out through your mouth. And continue to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Inhaling a nice deep inhale. Exhaling a nice deep exhale. And maybe on your next inhale, it's a little bit longer. And your next exhale is just a little bit longer than the previous one. You can count out the seconds of your breathing if you'd like. Or just feel each breath being a little bit longer than the last. If you have any thoughts of the day or the past or what you're eating for dinner after this, just let them pass by. Like cars on a train. You can wave to them on the way by. Before we get moving, we're just going to do Nada Shodhana breathing. So go ahead and take your right hand, take your two peace fingers, we'll put them on the third eye between your eyebrows. Your thumb can go over your right nostril and just inhale through the left nostril. Nice deep inhale here, and then cover that left nostril with your remaining two fingers, open up the right nostril, and exhale out through the right nostril. Inhaling a deep inhale through the right nostril. Close off the right nostril, open up the left, and exhale out through the left nostril. Nice big inhale through the right nostril. Close off that nostril, open up the right one. Sorry, and exhale out through that right nostril. Inhale through the right. Close it off, exhale out through the left. Inhale through that left nostril. Close it off, exhale out through the right. Inhaling through the right nostril. Close it off and exhale out through the left. Inhaling through the left nostril. Close it off, exhale through the right. And you can release your hand down and just breathe normally through your nostrils. Nice big inhales and exhales. See if you notice anything different with the way the air comes in and out. Maybe it's easier to breathe now, maybe a little harder. Check in with your body if you're sitting upright. Imagine there's a string coming from the crown of your head, pulling the top of your head nice and tall, melting your back down to the earth, pressing those sit bones into the ground. And see if you can just let each exhale wash over you and melt anything that's bothering you away. You can leave your eyes closed or open them a little, but we're going to just gently lift the right arm into the air and place it on top of the head. Gently pull it over to the right side. Just enough where you're not retching it, you're just letting the weight of the arm and the hand put enough pressure on your neck to stretch it. Make sure your opposite shoulder isn't sneaking up. Exhale that shoulder down the side. Go ahead and inhale that arm up, drop it back down. We'll go to the other side, left arm up, gently drape it over your head. Let your neck stretch to the side towards your left arm. And let just the weight of your arm and hand be enough to move that muscle open. No need to retch. You can check in with your right shoulder, make sure it's not crouching up towards that ear. You can exhale it down, melting away. On your next exhale, release your arm, release your head back to center, and give yourself a nice little neck roll. Rolling all the way around in both directions. Maybe linking your movement to your breath. Maybe inhaling as you roll back, exhaling as you roll forward. Maybe you make every circle one breath. When you've had enough of that, you can return to stillness. We'll inhale both arms up. Exhale, melt those shoulders down. Inhale, see if you can stretch your fingertips a little higher. And we'll start by bending the right elbow back down the back. Left hand comes on top of the elbow. Can pull it back a little bit, press it down. Check in with your ribs, make sure they're not popping forward. You can pull them back, pull that belly button towards your spine. Open up in your chest and shoulders. Reach back a little bit further. And again, just let that pressure from your hand push on your arm. No need to retch it back. No need to strain yourself. Make sure your shoulders aren't creeping up to your ears. Relax them back down. And just breathe here. On your next inhale, you can lift both arms into the air again. Bend that opposite elbow down. Right hand comes on top of that elbow. Just the pressure from the hand can push the arm back down. You can open up your chest, maybe push your elbows back behind your head. Check in with your ribs, make sure they're not popping out forward, pull them back in. Make sure your shoulders aren't trying to eat your ears, relax them back down your back. just breathe here. Release both arms on your next exhale. Give your shoulders a little shrug, a release down, maybe a little rounding backwards, maybe some rounding forward. And inhale those arms back up. Exhale your shoulders down your back. Inhale, reach those fingertips high. Exhale, stretch down towards the right, placing the right hand on the ground, reaching that left hand over top. You can shine your chest towards the ceiling if you'd like. Check in with both your sit bones. Make sure you're pressing them into the mat or floor. Feel that stretch come from your side body. Open up those intercostal muscles. Breathing here. And on your next inhale, we'll come back to center. Arms reaching towards the sky. Exhale down to the other side, placing that left hand on the ground. Reaching over with your right. Shining that chest towards the ceiling. Placing both sit bones into the ground. Feeling that stretch come from those intercostal muscles in your side. Breathing here. On your next inhale, you'll come back to center. Exhale, reach those shoulders down your back. Inhale, stretch your fingertips in the air. Pulling that belly button towards the spine, and you'll exhale, just fold forward, nice and gentle. No need to round the back. Just make a nice straight line. You can pull up on that string on the crown of your head. Give yourself a lot of space in your back, in the back of your neck, and your low back as well. Feel that tailbone reaching towards the ground. On your next exhale, you can fold a little deeper and maybe even round in your back and relax all the way down. On your next inhale, you can walk those fingers back behind you. Or sorry, back to upright. Then we'll reach the arms back behind you so your hands are flat against the small of your back. Pull those elbows as close together as you can. And just shine your chest forward into the sky for a little baby camel. On your next exhale, you can release your hands down. We'll go ahead and inhale the arms into the air again. This time we'll twist towards the right, placing the left hand on the right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale nice and long in your spine. Exhale, twist to the back of the room. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, twist. Inhale, nice, long spine. Exhale, twisting all the way to the back. In your next inhale, you can come for a nice little counter twist to the side. And exhale, back center. Inhaling your arms back up. Exhaling, twisting to the left. Right hand behind you. Nope, left hand behind you. Right hand on your left knee. And just inhale, nice long spine. Exhale, twist, rotating that spine towards the back. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, twist. One more time, inhaling, nice long spine. Exhale, twisting all the way to the back. Inhaling for a nice little counter twist to the side. And then exhale, center. All right, inhaling our arms out to a T, nice long, big hug. See if you can do the same thing here where you relax your shoulder blades down and reach those arms out to the side. Reaching with a lot of strength, making a passive pose active, feeling the stretch in your arms. And on your next exhale, we'll bring those arms together. We'll just hug yourself. Grab the back of your shoulder blades if you can. Breathing here, it doesn't matter what arm's on top. We'll switch to the other side in a minute. Check in with those ribs, make sure you're not popping them out. Check in with those shoulders, melt them down your back. And just breathe here. Feeling the contact of your arms against your body. Feeling the back of your back open up, shoulder blades opening. Maybe you can feel a big inhale in your back body instead of the front body. And on your next inhale, we'll open the arms up again in a big wide T. And then exhale, placing the opposite arm on top, crossing at the elbows and reaching back to give yourself a hug. Checking in with those glutes, make sure you're not holding any tension anywhere. Feeling that back body opening up, maybe your shoulder blades opening. Maybe just feel how nice it is to hug yourself. You can release your arms down, give your shoulders a little shake out, anything you would want. And we're gonna move into a tabletop. Tabletop pose, knees underneath hips, wrists underneath shoulders. Tops of the feet are pressing into the mat. Breathing here, pressing your hands, pressing your knees, pressing the tops of the feet down, making a passive pose active. You can even pull your shoulders out of their cradle. From here, we'll take the left arm into the air, inhaling the arm up, nice, wide, open reach, beautiful twist. Same thing here, can you reach with your fingertips, nice and long? Are your hips equal and even? Same pressure in the tops of the feet so that the twist is coming from your midsection. Exhale, thread the arm underneath, outer edge of the shoulder on the outside of the mat. You can walk your hand up if you'd like. Check in with those tops of the feet. Are they still on the mat? Are they still gripping to the ground? Breathing into that outer edge of the shoulder blade. You can walk those fingertips back. Exhale that arm nice and wide into the air. Exhale, hands back down to the mat. Check in with the tops of your feet. Check in with your knees, fingertips, all pressing into the ground. Inhaling that right arm into the air. See if you can make the twist come from your midsection. Nice, even hips. Breathing here, opening up your chest for the twist. Exhaling, threading that needle through, pressing the outer edge of your shoulder onto the mat. Walking those fingers out in front if you need to. Checking in with the tops of the feet, they're still gripping onto the ground. And breathing here. Walking that front hand back, pressing into the ground, reaching up with that right arm from that nice twist. Exhaling your hand back down to the mat. We'll come into some cat-cows. Again, checking your stance, tops of the feet, pressing into the mat, hands, fingers nice and spread out, gripping that ground. We'll start by inhaling for cow pose, shining that chest forward, bending in the back, and dropping that udder down. Exhaling, rounding in the back, pulling the belly button towards the spine, releasing the neck. Option to tuck the toes under here for cat pose. Releasing the feet, inhaling up, shining that chest forward, dropping the udder down, cow. Exhaling, pulling the belly button towards the spine, rounding in the back, releasing the neck down, untucking the toes. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Inhaling for cow. Exhaling for cat. Continue to do this movement on your own breath, at your own pace. You can introduce other movements, S and C curves in the spine. You can come back to a child's pose or come forward to a half chaturanga. Whatever you'd like to do. Just moving, waking up that spine. When you're ready, we'll come back to a neutral spine. From here, go ahead and tuck your toes under and just relax your bum towards your heels. If this hurts a lot, no big deal. You can come up a little bit. If it doesn't hurt at all, you can go all the way into Virasana. This hurts a lot for me. We're just gonna do, I've been making you stretch your toes one way for a while, so we're gonna try the other way now. So however you're most comfortable, you can come all the way down to a child's pose if you want. But all we're doing here is just a nice little toe stretch. If you feel like you can't take it anymore, maybe do 2 more breaths. Maybe just come up a little bit. And exhale back down. And on your next inhale, we'll come back to a tabletop. Release those tops of the feet down towards the mat. And then we'll go ahead and release your bum down on to your heels. And we'll come up into Virasana, Hero's Pose. So we're going to do moon salutations instead of sun salutations. This is a new way of doing them. I don't normally do them this way, so I'm sorry if I get tripped up. But it's going to be more fun because we're going to be on the mat more. So, starting in Virasana, check in with your glutes. Release any tension. Check in with the tops of your feet. Make sure they're pressing into the mat, tops of the knees pressing in. Breathing here. Again, that nice long spine, pulling that string from the crown of your head. And we'll inhale the arms up. You can go ahead and gaze at your thumbs for a nice little back bend. Exhale, come forward to a child's pose, placing those hands on the mat in front of you. Breathing here. On your next inhale, we're going to wiggle forward to a high cobra. You might have to push your legs back behind you. Just come to a nice high cobra, as much as you can bend in your back. And then pressing into the mat with those hands, tucking those toes under. Can you press back into a downward facing dog? Inhaling that right leg up, bring it in between your hands. Drop that left knee to the ground. Inhaling up for Anjaneyasana, gaze at those thumbs for a nice little back bend. Exhaling the hands back down to the mat. We'll take that back leg, kick it up towards the front so you're in a forward fold. Inhaling the arms up above your head, gaze at your thumbs again for a nice gentle back bend. Exhale your hands through heart center for mountain pose. And we'll inhale the arms back up, gazing at the thumbs for the back bend. Exhale, hands through heart center, folding forward. Taking that right leg back behind, dropping the knee down, releasing the toes. Inhaling the arms up for Anjaneyasana. Gaze at the thumbs for that gentle back bend. Exhale, hands towards the ground. Kick that left leg back to meet the right. We can come into cat or cow pose if you'd like. And press back into downward facing dog. Breathing here in down dog. We're going to roll forward to plank, drop those knees, and come into a nice high cobra. Exhaling, pushing that bum towards the heel for child's pose. Inhaling, arms above the head for Virasana. Gaze at those thumbs for a gentle back bend. And exhale, hands through heart center, down to the mat. All right, one more time. See if I can do it a little faster this time. So starting in Virasana, nice and strong pose. Make sure that spine is nice and long, pulling up at the crown of your head. Inhale your arms up into the air, gaze at your thumbs for that back bend. Exhale, fold forward, child's pose. Bring your hands to the mat and release your neck down. Breathe here. And then on your next inhale, we'll shift forward to a high cobra. See if you can leave your hands and legs where they are. Exhaling, pressing back through tabletop, tucking your toes, and coming into a downward facing dog. Lifting that left leg in the air this time, bring it in between your hands. Drop that right leg, release the tops of the feet, and inhale those arms up for Anjaneyasana, gazing at the thumbs for a gentle back bend. Exhaling your hands down to frame the feet. Tuck that back toe under, bring it forward. So when you're in your forward fold at the front of your mat, exhaling here. Inhaling your arms above your head all the way up, gaze at the thumbs for that gentle back bend. And then exhale, hands through heart center for mountain pose. Inhaling your arms up again, gentle back bend, gaze at the thumbs. Exhale, hands through heart center, fold forward. This time we'll kick the left leg back behind. Drop that knee down. Inhale, arms up for Anjaneyasana. Gaze at the thumbs for a gentle back bend. Exhale, hands down to frame the foot. Bring that right foot back from tabletop. Tuck those toes under. Push back into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you can drop your knees down. See if you can come into high cobra without adjusting your stance. You can if you need to. Exhale, pressing back into child's pose. And then inhaling the arms back up above you, gazing at those thumbs for that gentle back bend. Exhaling, hands through heart center, and coming back to hero's pose. Time out, Garrett's home. Time to give him his dog. Breathing here. Hi, honey. Hi. You know who's home? Hi. Go get him. Go get him. All right. Thank you for indulging me. Back to hero's pose. We'll come into tabletop. Tuck those back toes under to come into downward facing dog. And then as slowly and gently as you can, walk your feet up to meet your hands. So you're in a forward fold at the front of your mat. Normal forward fold. Feet are hips width distance apart. Your knees can be bent as much or as little as you'd like. Relax your neck down. You can nod your head yes. You can shake your head no. Place your hands on your shins. Inhale. That spine nice and long for a flat back. From here, pull that belly button towards the spine and gently exhale, folding forward, releasing the hands down. Option here to grab opposite elbows. You can sway from side to side, feeling all four corners of both feet, feeling your balance. You can rock forward and back. Checking in with that neck, making sure you're not holding any tension there. If your elbows are crossed, go ahead and change the crossing of your arms. Continue to let gravity pull the top half of your body down. Release your hands down. Place your palms on your shins. Inhale for a nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward. And slowly roll up to stand, placing each vertebrae on top of the next. Hands can come to heart center. Imagine your string pulling you up at the crown of your head, nice long spine. Release your hands down. And we'll inhale our arms above our heads. Exhale, melt those shoulders back down your back. Inhale, reach your fingertips towards the ceiling. Exhale, stretch to the left. Imagine you're holding a giant beach ball. Inhale, center. Exhale, stretch to the right. Imagine you're holding a giant beach ball. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold forward all the way down. Inhale, hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, send that right leg back behind you. Drop to your knee, release the top of your foot, and we'll inhale the arms up for Anjaneyasana. Gaze at the thumbs for the gentle back bend. Exhale, hands back down to the mat. Place that right hand on the mat. We'll inhale the left arm up for a nice gentle twist. Option to lift that back leg if you'd like. Or leave it down, either way. Exhale your hand back down to the mat. Bring your left leg to meet the right so you're in tabletop pose. Tuck those back toes under, push back into downward facing dog. See if you can inhale your heels up into the air and exhale, pull them back down. Breathe here in down dog. On your next inhale, bring the right leg into the air. Exhale that foot in between your hands. Help it if you need to. Nice strong low lunge. We'll take that left leg, kick it up to meet the right. Forward fold at the front of your mat. Hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, roll up to stand, stacking that vertebrae on top of the vertebrae. Hands can come to heart center. And exhale, release. Nice strong stance, pressing into the ground with the four corners of the feet. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, reach those shoulders down your back. Inhale, stretch your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, stretch to the left, holding a giant beach ball. Shine your chest toward the ceiling if you can. Inhaling center. Exhaling, stretching to the right. Shining that chest up into the ceiling, holding that giant beach ball. Inhaling back center. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, plant your hands on your shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward. We'll take the left leg back behind. Drop that knee down. Release the top of the foot. Bring those hands up above the head. Gaze at the thumbs for Anjaneyasana. Exhaling, hands back down to the mat. Place that left hand to the ground. Inhale, right arm into the air. Nice long stretch. Gentle twist. Option to tuck those back toes and lift that back leg up if you'd like. Not necessary. Exhaling that hand back down to the mat. Bring your right leg to meet the left, so you're in tabletop pose. Tuck those back toes under, push back into downward facing dog. Inhale the heels into the air. Exhale, reach them back down to the mat. Breathing here in down dog. We'll inhale the left leg into the air. Exhale, bring your foot in between your hands. Help it if you need. You're in a nice, strong, low lunge. Kick that back leg up to meet the front. Forward fold at the front of your mat. Hands on shins, nice, long, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, roll up to stand. Hands through heart center. And release your arms down. Give yourself a little shake out. And we'll come back to mountain pose at the front of the mat. Inhaling the arms up into the air. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands on shins, nice, long, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands. We'll send that right leg back behind you. Normally at this point, I would tell you to make sure, well, I'm still going to tell you, make sure you have a nice strong stance. You're in a nice low lunge. You can check in with that bum. Make sure you're not poking it up in the air. You want a nice kind of your weight towards that front foot. Normally we would bend this heel back, but I want you to keep that heel in the air. See if you can lift your hands off the mat, right? We're in a strong low lunge. See if you can have that same strong stance, but come all the way up into high lunge. Not warrior one, that heel is still off the ground, but that front knee is bent like warrior one. Just breathe here, stretching into that right front thigh. From here, you can go ahead and exhale that heel back down. Maybe you want to adjust your stance, move that left foot out towards the left a little bit. Feeling the difference between high lunge and warrior one. Release those hands back behind you, interlace your fingers. Reach that chest towards the ceiling and exhale into humble warrior. Bringing your chest towards your knee. The weight of those hands pulling your body down. And just breathe here. On your next inhale, come back up to shine your chest towards the ceiling. Release your hands all the way up in the air for warrior one. And then on your next exhale, open those hips up. Open those arms up. Warrior two. Nice, strong stance. Front knee is bent. On your next inhale, we'll pop that front palm into the air, reach forward and back for reverse warrior. Make sure that front knee is still bent. Make sure you're not dumping any weight in that back hand. Looks back. Hi, bud. From here, give that knee a rest. Nice straight knees. Come back into warrior two arms. Try not to overextend your knees like I just did. Reach forward until you hit your edge and then fall down for triangle. Nice big arms opening up. Nice strong legs. Feeling that stretch come from both sides of your side body. Inhaling back to warrior two arms. We'll bend that front knee again. Bring your forearm to your thigh. Bring that other arm over top for side angle pose. Shining that chest towards the ceiling here. Then we'll windmill the arms down and adjust your stance so you're in a wide-legged forward fold towards the side of the mat. Hands can walk behind you if you'd like. Walk those fingers towards the front. You can come up on your fingertips for a nice long flat back, wide-legged flat back. Exhale back into wide-legged forward fold. We'll gently walk our hands to frame the other foot. Adjust your stance as you need to. Go ahead and make sure your legs are on railroad tracks instead of a tightrope. We'll just go backwards through the poses. Inhaling your arms to windmill up, placing that forearm on your thigh for side angle pose, reaching that opposite arm over top. Check in with that front knee, make sure it's nice and bent. Outer edge of that back foot pressing into the ground. On your next inhale, we'll come back into warrior two. Give that knee a rest. Reach forward until you hit your edge, then fall down for triangle pose. Opening up in those shoulders, nice long reach either end. And on your next inhale, we'll come back to warrior two arms, bend that front knee again. Place that palm in the air, scoop forward and back to reverse your warrior. Make sure you're not dumping any weight in that back arm. Make sure your front knee is nice and bent. On your next exhale, we'll come back to warrior two. Gaze over that front finger, front middle finger in your front hand. On your next inhale, see if you can rotate your hips towards the front of the room. You may need, or back of the room, I guess. You may need to adjust your stance a little bit. Make sure you're still on railroad tracks. Bending that front knee and bring those arms above your head for warrior one. Exhaling the hands back behind you. Interlace your fingers with the weird thumb on top. Shine that chest towards the ceiling. And exhale, bring your chest towards your knee for humble warrior. Make sure you have a nice strong stance or you'll fall over like I just did. Try to use the weight from your extended arms to press your body over your leg. On your next inhale, you'll shine that chest towards the sky again. Release your hands, release your arms into the air. Make sure that front knee is bent. Adjust your back foot so that your heel is off the mat. You can come down and kind of frame your front foot and adjust your stance that way if you'd like. Sometimes it makes it a lot easier to start with a foundation, then come up to that high lunge. Either way, just breathe here. Feel the difference in your body between a high lunge and the warrior one. And when you're ready, you'll bring those hands down to frame that front foot. Again, we'll walk our hands around so we're in a wide-legged forward fold. You can walk your fingertips behind you if you'd like. Your next inhale, bring your hands in front of you, come up to your fingertips for a nice, long, wide-legged flat back. Bye, Duke. Exhale, folding forward again. And walking your fingers to frame that front foot towards the front of your mat. You can kick that back leg up to meet the front. Forward fold at the front of your mat. Hands on shins, nice, long, flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Inhaling, rolling up to stand, placing each vertebrae on top of the other. Arms can come up above your head, gaze at those thumbs for a nice, long back bend. Exhale, hands through heart center and release them down to your sides. Give yourself a nice little shake out. Get a glass of water. We'll move on to balancing poses. We're going to do a few today because the equinox is all about balance. So, placing that right foot into the mat, all four corners of the foot reaching into the ground. You can kickstand, we're going into tree, you can kickstand that ankle to your heel. You can place your foot against your calf or pressing that heel into your inner thigh as long as your foot does not hit your knee. Hands can be at heart center, on your hips. They can be blowing in the breeze like branches, whatever you prefer. And just breathe here. When you've had enough of that, you can release your arms, you can release your foot from your leg, bring that knee towards me, kick your leg out, lift that heel a little higher, maybe a little higher, maybe a little higher, and let it go. Shake out that bottom leg. Maybe rub that side muscle, wake it up. We'll press into the opposite foot. All four corners of the foot reaching into the ground, ground reaching back. You can kickstand that heel at your ankle, press the foot against the calf, or press that inner thigh against your heel, heel against your inner thigh. Reaching into Mula Bandha, pulling that belly button towards your spine. Just as long as your foot is not pressing against your knee. Hands can be at your waist, at heart center, or blowing like branches in the breeze. And just breathe here. ready, you can release your foot from your leg. Bring that knee towards me. Kick that leg straight out in the air. Maybe lift a little bit more, maybe a little bit more, and then release it down. Kick both legs out. And we'll come into eagle wrap. All right, nice long T shape with your arms. We'll start with the right elbow underneath. So we'll cross at the elbow, forearm, back of the hands or palms together, whatever you prefer. Breathing here, see if you can pull the elbows toward me. See if you can exhale those shoulders back down your back. Check in with your thumbs, make sure you're not pressing yourself against your forehead. Maybe you can reach that thumb out to give yourself some space between your hands and your forehead. If you're comfortable here, stay. If you'd like to add anything else, you can make sure that left foot is pressing into the ground, and go ahead and cross your leg over with your right. You can cross at the ankle, you can bring the knee over top the other knee, whichever you prefer. And just breathe here. Pull that belly button towards the spine if you need help with balance. And then release your leg, release your arms, give yourself a little shake out all over. We'll come to a big T again. This time we'll cross the opposite elbow underneath, left underneath, cross of the elbows, forearms, palms, or backs of the hands together, whichever you prefer. From here, see if you can exhale and melt those shoulders down your back. Inhale and pull the elbows towards me. Checking in with your hands, make sure your thumbs aren't poking against your forehead. From here, you can always cross that right leg over, left leg over. Say whatever elbow is underneath, you can hit it with your knee. Crossing it over. Again, you can cross at your ankle or your knees, whichever you prefer. Holding that belly button towards the spine and breathing here. And if you fall out, just come back in, no big deal. You can release your legs, release your arms, give yourself a little shake out. And we'll come to mountain pose at the front of the mat. Pressing both feet into the ground. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands on shins, nice, long, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands. Kick that right leg back behind you. Kick that left leg back behind you. Downward facing dog. Inhaling those heels up into the air. Exhaling, releasing them back to the ground. From here, lift that right leg into the air, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend that knee, pull the heel towards the bum. Inhale, open up the hips. And on your next exhale, sweep that shin forward to the front of the mat. You can wiggle that back leg back, nice and straight behind you. Inhaling up for a high pigeon and exhaling, rolling down, placing your forehead on the mat or a block. And just breathe here. And on your next inhale, you can go ahead and come up to a king pigeon, pressing your hands into the mat, and just walk back into a downward facing dog. Inhaling that left leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, pull the bum, heel towards the bum. Open up the thigh on your inhale. And exhale, sweep that shin forward to come into a pigeon on the other side. Inhaling up nice and high, exhaling, folding forward. Placing your forehead to the mat or a block or your hands. On your next inhale, you can come on back up, press those hands into the mat, and just come into a tabletop pose. Press your bum towards your heels and come into child's pose, releasing that forehead down. When you're ready, we'll just crawl forward. So we're laying down on our bellies on the mat. Go ahead and roll over onto your backs. Placing your feet about as wide as the mat, knock your knees in, feet flat on the ground. Breathing here, pulling that string at the crown of your head nice and long, tucking that tailbone under, elongating that tailbone. Breathe here for a moment. And windshield wiper your legs back and forth. Hug your knees into your chest, nice and tight. Give yourself a little back massage. You can roll backward and forward. You can roll left and right. You can even just release your knees and put them in a circle, kind of give your low back a little massage. Make sure you do both directions. When you're ready, just extend those legs into the air. We're going to do a gentle inversion. Pull your belly button towards your spine. You can place your hands on the back of your thighs and pull those legs towards you if you'd like. Make sure you flex your feet so it's like you're standing on the ceiling. Knees can be bent as little or as much as you'd like. And just breathe here. Check in with your glutes, make sure you're not holding any tension. And when you're ready, you can bend your knees, release your thighs, and place those feet back down to the mat. Make sure your fingertips are just grazing your heels. We'll set up for bridge pose. On your next inhale, bring that hip into the air, both hips into the air, pressing into the bottom of the feet, getting some length in your back. You can wiggle those shoulders or your arms underneath your shoulder blades. Interlace your hands behind you if you'd like. But just breathe here. And on your next exhale, release your hands, roll your spine back down to the mat. Go ahead and windshield wiper your legs back and forth. Release any tension in those hips. And hug those knees into your chest and drop them to one side for a twist. Two shoulders and one hip are on the mat. Hands can be wherever you're comfortable. And just breathe here. Starting to slow down the pace and the rhythm of your breath. Your next inhale, you can bring those knees back to center. And exhale, drop your knees to the other side. Breathing into your twist.
I mean, I guess you're working, you're like doing a gig right now. Yeah.
On your next inhale, we'll come back to center. You can get in any last minute poses that you'd like. You can reach your hands to your feet for happy baby. Rock back and forth. Or just pull those knees towards your elbows. When you're ready to settle into Shavasana, you can release everything down. Get yourself set up as comfortable as possible. And just revisit the meditation from earlier in the class. See if there's anything you can let go of that is no longer serving you. Insert politician joke here. You can bring your awareness back to your breath. You can start to make small movements in your fingers and toes. You can roll onto one side using your arm as a pillow and lay in the fetal position for one breath. Using that same slow quality of movement, you can come up to a seat. You can close your eyes and bring your hands to heart center. The other half of the balance of Mabon not only is to let go of things that are no longer serving you, but to also count and be thankful for your blessings. So as you leave class today, I challenge you to go out and be thankful for your blessings in this next week, especially since it's getting a lot harder to do so. All right, thank you guys so much. We'll close with one Om. Inhale for Om. Om. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings be free from suffering. Namaste. See you guys next week. Have a good night. Bye.